Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a program about the services and functions of Monmouth County government. I'm Commissioner Director Tom Arnone, your host for this segment of Monmouth in Focus. This is such an honor, and I am joined by Trieta Stampis from the one and only Fulfill here in Monmouth County. And it's so special to say that because you're such a vital part of such a group and a need here in Monmouth County. So it's admirable what you do there and
Thank
what
you.
all of you do there and your board there. And you know, but a lot of people don't know exactly. They just think they see these baskets out there, let's donate canned goods and stuff like that. But it's a big part, but there is so much more. Like, I don't think people realize how many meals you do and fulfill and distribute annually. I mean, I know that's putting you on the spot here asking you that number, but is there like a round estimated number?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And first of all, thank you so much for having me on here. So excited to be able to kind of share the work that we do. So Fulfill is the food bank for Monmouth County and Ocean County. And you know, not everybody knows what a food bank is. They may see collections at their church or at a civic group and think, oh, well, that's a food bank. We're actually the main distributor of food to all of those neighborhood-based food pantries, soup kitchens, and other distribution sites and shelters. So we operate at a big scale.
Which you're over there on 66 and Neptune, and
Yeah.
I know it very well, and been there many times, you know, seeing the great programs that you've done. But you also have like this little mobile type pantry
Correct.
type of, I guess, program. I guess you would call it a program
Yeah.
there. And so what is that about?
So we have a network of close to 300 food pantries and soup kitchens and distribution sites across our region. But that doesn't necessarily cover every area where there's need. And so our mobile pantries are really to fill in those gaps where people who are food insecure might not have easy access to a food
That's
pantry.
important.
Yeah. And our mobile pantries also serve to reach populations that might be especially vulnerable. You know, you and I were just talking before this, we're here at Brookdale College. Community college students have extraordinarily high rates of food insecurity. And so our mobile pantry comes here to serve the campus community. And that's one of our stops. So we look for where is our pantry network already doing well, where are the gaps? That's where we send our mobile pantries, and also what are the populations that are especially vulnerable, and that's also where we send our mobile pantries.
Great. That's great. And you have another program that, just so I could get the education out to the public
Yeah.
there, what it is, and it's called SNAP.
Yes.
Supplemental nutrition, I don't know.
Assistance program. Yeah, no, you were there. You were there.
Good. But so, what is that about?
So SNAP used to be called food stamps. It is.
Oh, okay.
It is exactly the same well, it's not exactly the same. When it was called food stamps, it was literally coupons in a booklet that you would tear out to go to
Yes.
the grocery store and use that in place of cash to buy food. Now it's on a debit card, just like anybody else's, you know, just like any other piece of plastic in your wallet.
Yes.
And it is a monthly allotment of funds to purchase food at grocery stores. And that is a federal program. And you have to be eligible for it. There are eligibility requirements related to income, immigration status, and things like that. It is a sustainable, the way that the program's structured, anyone who's eligible can get it. There is no cap, there's no waiting list, and it provides a monthly food budget that's reliable. So in almost every way, yeah, no, it's remarkable. The program grows when the economy is bad and times are hard. It gives, you know, because anyone who's eligible can get on the program, it's incredibly flexible. And because it uses our existing retail food system, it's also incredibly efficient, right? Instead of the work that we do as a distributor of food and as a charity is supplemental to that. In every single way, SNAP is a more effective answer to hunger. than a food bank is. And so
Wow,
we're
that's
there
special.
we're there to fill the gaps, because unfortunately not everybody who's in need can access SNAP. Some of those rules are restrictive and exclude people who have those needs. And sometimes the benefits don't go far enough. And again, we're there
That's
to
a great
fill in those
program.
needs.
So, as COVID came around,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people were out of work. A lot of people were not being paid.
Yep.
There was some assistance from the federal side and the state side, but it still was making people. We saw hunger go up and rise, but we saw your donations, I'm sure, go down in some cases, because of just the environment we're in. And I know that the county was very supportive of our nonprofits here. Did it help you? And I know that myself and my rest of my commissioners were very, very strong positioned on making sure we help these organizations. And I know that I think you were one of the recipients.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. And we are so grateful. There is no way we would have been able to mount and sustain our COVID response without our partnership with Monmouth County. And that is absolutely a vital partnership for us. And I say sustain because we're still in it. Unfortunately, we've gone from a COVID crisis to an inflation crisis.
Yep,
And
that's true.
just between January and June of this year, the number of people visiting our pantry network has gone up 60% in half the year. And then typically, we see a dip over the summer months because there's so much seasonal employment. People have,
Gonna start to-
a little bit more money in their pockets. We did not see a dip this year. Instead, we saw a plateau, and that is not normal. So we are still in sustained response mode. And without the resources and support of our partners, like Monmouth County, we would not be able to do that. We're a mission-driven organization. We can't say, oh, our budget doesn't allow it. We have to do whatever it takes to meet the need. And without partnerships, we wouldn't be able to.
That's probably the most special, gratified feeling that myself, and I know my commissioners would feel the same, my colleagues would feel the same, because that's what it was meant for. When that money came into our county, our main goal was for it to stay here in Monmouth County with our municipalities, with our businesses, and of course our nonprofits there. So the good thing I really, really hits close to my heart with Fulfill is, people are hungry, which is mind-boggling to probably the average person here in Monmouth County, because we feel Monmouth County is a very affluent, wealthy county, and you wouldn't think you would see that here, but you do. Yeah. And you see it. It's the amount and the numbers are mind-boggling. That I was provided. It's amazing. But the one thing that I like the way that you guys have geared towards is the healthy side of eating. Eating's giving them. That's a passion of mine here, but you guys focus on the healthy initiative eating because, first of all, it keeps you fuller and it keeps you healthier, and hopefully that you can move on to that next phase of your life where you're not going to need that assistance there, and it's gratifying to that individual too. But was that a main focus of you guys, the healthy initiative side of it?
Absolutely, and it's been a growing focus. I mean, Fulfill was founded almost 40 years ago, and in those days, food banking was about boxes and cans, was about the shelf-stable food that can last a long time on the shelf, that can travel easily. As we've evolved in our understanding of hunger and in our understanding of the pressures that the people that we serve face and what that results in terms of their health, we have moved much more towards healthier food. And this year, our goal is 60% of the food that we distribute be protein, produce, and dairy. Those are the food groups. They're the most expensive. They're highly perishable, which means that they're the hardest to come by for a low-income family, but they're also the most nutritious. And we shouldn't restrict ourselves to what's in a box or a can. And so protein, produce, and dairy are our priorities.
Now, I know that you receive different and accept different like canned goods and how they just drop them off to you there. And I know that's packaged and non-perishables, all that. That's part of what you accept there daily.
Correct.
daily. And,
Yeah.
you know, I attended an event there, and I don't know exactly what you call it. It was with the cars pulled up.
It's our Pop the Trunk distribution.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that was remarkable. And the cars did not stop.
No.
And no questions asked. Just keep your back trunk open and let's let you leave there and hopefully be fulfilled hunger-wise when you leave.
Yeah, that was something that we started during COVID when a lot of our food pantries had to shut. I mean, you'll remember in the early days of COVID, indoor gatherings were not happening.
That's right.
Many of our food pantry partners are led by volunteers who are older. And that's a vulnerable population, so that was even more reason for pantries to really experience a lot of disruptions. And so we started this drive-through distribution that's no contact every Friday from 1 to 3 at our headquarters in Neptune. We're still doing it because the need has not ended. We start the distribution at 1 o'clock. The first car rolls into our parking lot to be first in line at about 9:30 in the morning.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's in some cases it's sad that that we're here, but it's a sad and a joyous occasion too, because it's sad that people have that need and they're out there hungry, but it's really fulfilling, and a great name, by the way, fulfilling that you fulfill that lost need there. But you also have some programs for the children there, and maybe you could just we could close out on touch on that there.
Absolutely. Children are disproportionately vulnerable to food insecurity. They just are.
Yes.
And even though in a food insecure household, the adults will sacrifice their own food to make sure children are fed, children are still highly at risk. And so we have programs that are tailored to children, like our backpack program. So we work with schools and after-school sites to put together a Friday package of foods that kids can take home over the weekend, so that when they don't have the school meals on Saturday and Sunday that they're eating Monday through Friday, they've got some food at home. We've also produce out of our warehouse in Neptune also has a production kitchen, and we do meal preparation there. We produce after-school snacks and suppers for many after-school programs in Monmouth County, like the Boys and Girls Clubs and, in Asbury and in Red Bank and other groups, so that when kids are done with the school day and they're at these after-school programs and they're hungry, they've got something to eat.
That is, it's amazing the things that go on that people do not know here, and quite frankly are surprised that we have the need. How would people be able to reach out to you?
So the best way is to go to our website. It's fulfillnj.org. All of our opportunities to volunteer, to donate are right on that website. And really no gift of time or talent or treasure is too small. Really, it's not. Everything is used immediately and to the best way that we can find.
Well, thank you. And as the CEO of Fulfill, Trieta, I can't thank you enough, because I've seen you come on here, and it's just a breath of fresh air what you do, and how you help people, and the compassionate side of it, because it is a compassionate time.
Yeah.
You have to be there, because people have pride, and it must take a lot to do that. And come there, but to come there and just be welcomed with open arms, that's a credit to you and to your board. I want to thank you for being part of this.
Thank you.
You know that the county is 100% behind you, and anything you need, please reach out to us.
Thank you.
So I want to thank all for this episode here of Monmouth in Focus. See you next time.
Filmmakers from around the world submit their work to the Garden State Film Festival. Discover the next stars of the silver screen.
GSFF only happens once a year, so purchase your tickets today. For more information, visit www.gsff.org. Visit GSFF.
Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a program about the services functions of Monmouth County government. I'm Commissioner Director Tom Arnone, your host for this segment of Monmouth in Focus. I am very, very happy today to have a friend plus a very, very special program and the person that runs this program, and that's Monica Vermeulen of the Ashley Lauren Foundation. And I tell you, it's a great and it's an honor to have you here, Monica. And I hope that we can get the message out on what you and your program does for such a special, special group.
Well, I am honored to be here. Thank you so much, Tom, for inviting me and letting me tell your viewers all
Sure.
about the foundation.
So, it's an incredible independent nonprofit organization there. And how did you start it there?
Well, Ashley Lauren is my daughter. She was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 3. She had kidney cancer, lost her kidney, her adrenal gland, it had spread, went through many years of treatments, chemotherapy, radiation. So we lived through that horrific journey of childhood cancer, something I never knew existed, even though I had been a cancer survivor myself. But to see children go through this, it was just, I can't even, there are no words.
We hear that word and it's, and I know it personally too, in my family there, and, it just like stops you
Yes.
in your tracks. But when it's a child and children, you see them at such a young age,
Right.
probably not even realizing what they're going
No,
through
they don't.
there.
They don't.
But you have taken that experience and passed it into something really special that I know Ashley very well, as you know, there, and she's doing great, and she has a
She
family
is.
of her own.
Yes,
And
which
so
they
that's
said probably would never happen because of the treatment,
Oh,
that she
wow.
would never have a child, and her child is going to be 2 years old in December.
That
so
is fabulous.
great
That's
story.
fabulous. But now you took that and you spun
Mm-hmm.
it into helping other families. So, like, what are some of the programs that you have there that, I guess let's first start on some of the programs that you give the children with cancer there to just brighten their day and brighten
Mm-hmm.
their experience. Then we could talk a little bit about the hardship side of it. So let's talk
Yes.
first about the children.
Well, having lived through it again, the passion grew so much inside of me. I saw the children in the hospital and Ashley and all, and realized the pain that they're going through. They needed smiles. You didn't see a lot of smiles
And dreams.
and dreams and wishes, and they just want to be a kid. And so when I put this together, I wanted to come up with programs for the families, but also specifically for the children to bring those smiles and let them know they're loved, they're cared about, that they can make a difference in the world just by being who they are. So we celebrate their birthdays. We make big deals out of that because we're always happy that they are able to have another birthday. So we do that, and we do it up big. And we also do outings for the children, any place they might want to go.
At no cost.
There's never, we give, we don't take, we
That's
give.
what I like to hear. Yes,
Oh,
great.
absolutely. And we have special parties for them, 4 seasonal parties. Now, these were all happening before COVID hit, then we had to stop. So we have a spring party at the boardwalk where they're at the beach, all the rides all day, they have lunch and enjoy because we know how expensive it can be to bring a family just at a day trip. So we have that, and then we have Summerfest and another summer party for the kids where we
Then you just had Touch a Truck.
well, that's our fun. That was a fundraiser.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
although
okay.
they were there. They
Okay.
were there. That is correct.
Because I did see, that's true. That's true.
Yes,
That
our
was.
families were invited to that. And then we had a harvest party, and it was all fall related. Everything that we could possibly think of, and then a Christmas party, which we are now doing that this year.
Right.
We're back to the parties.
Where's that going to be at?
That's at the Essex and Sussex
yeah.
in Spring
Mhm.
Lake. And we did have the boardwalk party, which was sponsored by a terrific family. The kids, they feel like they're kids again. You know, they're not just a sick child. They're having fun, and the ones who are still in treatment, not necessarily, coming out to these parties because their immune system is so
And
depleted.
that's what you have to be careful about.
Very
to
careful.
Have a party to
Yeah.
a child that is healthy
Mhm.
and their immune system's good. But when you're having these, you got to be overly cautious.
Very much so.
And because there's a health issue, and most importantly to them, the
Yes.
children. But as you know, and you know better than all of us that that the children go through that the health scare. The parents go through the health scare, and obviously the first and foremost thing on a parent's mind is the health of their child.
Right.
And just let me get my child better, whatever it
Yes.
might be. But it's life. Life is
life.
going on behind
Yeah.
them, and those lives are unfortunately. Not everybody's as compassionate as you are with trying to help these and young students and the families get through this very difficult time. But then on top of it, they have these bills piling up
Yes.
and piling up, and mortgage payments. And, people, I guess they're understanding to a point, but then it's life and you got to fulfill your obligation there.
Yes.
But they can't. Because at the end of the day, and as I would say the same, and I'm sure you did say the same, my first priority is my child here,
Yes.
and I don't care about the bills. I don't care
Yes,
about
it has
anything
to
else.
be.
And a lot of people don't have the means, and then that's where you come in.
That's right.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I would say our hallmark is financial assistance. We pay the bills, as you were just talking about. You have a two-parent household, and they're both working or whatever. One has to leave their job to take care of the child. All the more difficult when it's a one-parent household.
Right.
And it just, the bills mount up. We have kept people out of foreclosures. We have kept people from getting evicted. We pay the utilities. We keep the lights on for them. We help them with medical bills not covered by insurance, gas cards to get back and forth to the hospital, food cards so they have food.
And we keep this all confidential.
Yes.
Right, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Whatever the needs are. I mean, they're vast, but that's what we do. And having lived through it, I know, the vital need for support. And material needs. Your refrigerator breaks down. They can't buy a new refrigerator. Wow. So anything like that, household things or whatever. We've done so many things. We've been in existence 17 years.
Wow.
So it's a long time. And when the child is just a baby, we have babies that have cancer, diapers and such, and then emotional support.
And that's big. And so there's a lot of organizations, and everyone are great in their own way there. But, are helping for research and stuff to those areas. I mean, I have one myself for another type of cancer there. But at the end of the day, people kind of forget that their lives, these people's lives are still going on.
Yes.
And hopefully the day will come when everybody's healthy, like Ashley, there, and now you stop, you enjoy that everything's healthy, and now you turn around and you have tons of bills.
Oh, you can't
and that
even
would be
imagine.
the worst thing.
Yes.
That has to be just like draining to a family. So what if you were to guess, and I don't think you could probably give me an accurate number because you've done so many, but if you were to say, how many people do you think that you have touched, families that you have touched, and some of the special like thank yous that has come across there?
Well, truthfully, 17 years, there's been thousands of people that have come through across our path. And there's just, it doesn't matter. Every call we get, every referral we get, we help. We've never turned anyone away. We cover the state of New Jersey. So, it's just one of those things I can't say no. And from the beginning, to your point about the research, I decided I'm not going to fund research because I lived through it. I knew what the needs were. So that's where I wanted the focus. And that's exactly what we do.
So I know now that you're always thinking ahead of there, and I'm also involved with you on this on this foundation here, and it's kind of crazy the way it's just like grabbed me to come there. And as you say, your daughter's name is Ashley Lauren.
Yes.
And when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, my daughter's name is Lauren Ashley.
I love it.
And so it just like hit me. And fortunately enough, I never went through that experience there. But it gave me an ability to come and see exactly what you did, and then got involved there. And I actually was winning one of your fundraisers.
Yes, and with your twinkle toes,
Yes,
you
I
are.
danced.
This man is a fabulous dancer, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
He
And I
danced.
guess, well, it was because of Ashley.
Well, yes, at one of our events, Dancing for Our Stars.
We raised a lot of money.
We raised a lot of money, and Ashley and Tom danced together,
great.
and it was fabulous.
It was fabulous. I never want to do that again, by the way.
Oh, but you were great. You were
but
wonderful.
it was fun. Well, I had her training me there. So if you're looking into, you're always trying to be creative to think of new things.
Yes.
Because it's all about bringing the outside dollars
Oh,
into
yes,
you.
yes.
And I know that the county has helped you some, and
Absolutely.
and we're myself and the rest of the commissioners are firm believers that our nonprofits are what drive the success of Monmouth County there. So if you were to, like, what are some of the things that you have coming down the road that are going to be special to be able to raise money,
raise
put in
money.
there, and to keep this, keep this foundation moving?
Keep it going.
Yeah,
Keep
that's
it going.
the key. Because
This is true. Well, as everyone knows, COVID really, we took a hit there, but the county helped us so much through that. We were so grateful. But we have a 50-50 raffle going on now. We just had a Touch a Truck event, which was fabulous.
yeah, I came to that.
You
That was
were there.
great,
Yeah, we had over 3,000 people there. And for this coming year, we're going to do Touch Truck again. We're going to go back to our gala, which we had every year.
Oh yeah, I remember
So
that.
yes, we're going to that. And we have a couple other things that we're talking about at our next board meeting. We'll
Great.
be talking about that.
Great.
Yeah. So whatever comes up, and then just the generous people in the community.
And do you see that? Do you see people that out of the blue, they just donate money because of the cause? Do you see that happen?
Yes, I do see that. And we've been, because of another wonderful sponsor, he's been helping us with a lot of advertising.
That's
He
great.
did a billboard, a lot of
I saw the
print work. You
billboard.
saw the billboard.
Yes.
And so, people like that step forward, and he wanted to focus in that area to get more people to know who we are. Even though we've been around for a long time, we always need more people. We need volunteers. We need people to
great.
donate. So, yes.
So, like, if just to recap here, how would they get a hold of you, the Ashley Lauren Foundation? Is it a website? Or?
Yes, our website is ashleyLaurenFoundation.org.
That is great. That is
Yes.
great. So for all the viewers here, this is a great. I'm telling you, this is a great organization. All our nonprofits are great organizations, and they all fulfill something that's very special in the county here. And this here is something that we wish on nobody, but unfortunately, it happens. And so if the surrounding people could help it financially and help assist it, it would be great. I want to thank you, Monica, for
thank
joining
you.
us today. Ashley Lauren Foundation is a big part of Monmouth County, and I want to thank you all that you do. And that's all we have today for this episode of Monmouth in Focus. See you next time.